Hey there, everyone in Panthers Nation. Jeff Taylor here. I hope you guys are having a great day. Listen, I wanted to just take a few minutes to do this week's Money in the Bank and talk about Deshaun Watson and everything that went down on Friday and what that may mean for the Panthers going forward. So, a little recap on Friday. In front of a grand jury, Deshaun Watson testified and was not indicted on any criminal charges. Now, the interesting part about that was they only had one female that testified. So there were 21 out there that did not. So with the one, Deshaun's testimony, he was not indicted. So he will be facing no criminal charges, which kind of clears the path for him to continue his NFL career. The interesting part with it's going to be he will face probably some civil charges or civil court cases, possibly 22. So the question now becomes, even though he doesn't have the criminal charges, but there'll be civil cases, and there's 22 of them out there, what does the NFL do? Does the NFL say, come on back, you're fine, you're ready to play? Do they suspend him for 4 games? Do they suspend him for a year? I don't know where they're going to go with it. It's going to be an interesting take on it. And I think the NFL has to seriously think about what they're doing here. So, I get it. No criminal charges, but you still have 22 females out there who are accusing him of sexual assault. So we can see how that plays out. And I think no matter who ends up going after Deshaun and who gets him, they have to have some thought process of he may not be available for 4 games, 8 games, an entire season. And if that's the case, then you're looking at somebody who hasn't played football in, a year plus. If he's suspended a season, then it's 2 years, 2 seasons. So I think we got to take a look at that and see how it goes. Now, as we talk about who's going to get him, and really Monday is when the tampering period starts where you can actually start talking to people. I think Wednesday is the exact date when the calendar begins and free agency can actually start. So by Monday, Tuesday, we might know where he's going to end up, and everybody just has to do their due diligence. Now, the list is long, I think, for people who might go after him. I mean, we've got the Panthers, and we know that here in Charlotte, they're talking about it. It's all over the news, and supposedly they are putting together an aggressive package to go get him. So you have the Panthers. I've heard the Steelers, the Seahawks, the Giants, the Bucks, the Vikings, depending on what Kirk Cousins does. So there's, 8 teams out there, probably 8 to 10 teams that might go after him. Who knows? The question is who wants to take a chance and who wants to put together a package big enough to go get him, because it's going to take a haul. So, I think Seattle is putting together something right now, and I think from what I've heard, Seattle and the Panthers are the two that are thinking about the biggest packages. So let's talk about it a little bit. If you think about the Panthers, what I've heard and what I've seen, what I've read is, and what the Texans may want is 3 first-round draft picks, a couple of lower picks, and then a couple of younger players, or maybe a veteran player. So, is he worth it? Is he going to take the Panthers to the next level? I don't know. I think what scares me a little bit, and I'd love to, you guys can comment on it after you watch this, is it worth that big of a package? Granted, listen, Sam Darnold's not going to get the job done. We don't know what Matt Rule's going to be like, whether he's going to be around 4 games, 6 games the entire next season. But with everything in limbo, you're giving away a majority of the future of your team for one player. Is it worth it? So let's think about this. You go up 3 first-round draft picks, okay? Our offensive line is not good, so you're giving away 3 first-round draft picks. You're giving away a couple of other draft picks. So you're giving away 3 to 5 picks, in the next couple of seasons. That's tough. I mean, you're trying to build a team. That's a lot to give away. And then when I've read stuff and heard things about younger players or players that are on the team now, I've heard anywhere from giving up 2 to 3 of these. Christian McCaffrey, Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin. I heard J.C. Horn, DJ Moore. You're going to give away 2 or 3 of those players along with 3 first-round draft picks and a couple other picks for one guy who we may or may not know will play. I would love for the NFL to come out right now and go, listen, he's not facing any criminal charges, but if he comes back, he's going to be suspended before you make any deal. I think it's just a ton to give away for somebody who hasn't played in a year. and we don't know whether he'll be suspended or not. So we need the draft picks. We need to build our offensive line. We need to, build some things, according, on the offensive side of the ball. Because we don't know where CMC is going to end up. He could be gone. They could trade him away. I think it would be a part of this deal. So the question becomes, is it worth it? And that's what I want to pose to you guys as we think about this. And before this comes out, you guys, it may have already happened. I don't know. But the question I want to leave you guys is simply this. Is it worth that much for that player? Is he one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL when healthy? I don't know. That's a question we have to answer. So I'll put that out to you guys. Comment down below. Send us some messages. Make sure you check out our podcast every week. And we'll leave it at this. If you were the GM, would you make this deal? If you're Dave Tepper, do you make this deal? If you're Matt Rule, do you make this deal knowing you're going to sign one player, give away 4 to 5 draft picks, and a couple players like CMC or JC Horn or Brian Burns? Personally, I don't think it's worth it. I think you figure out your draft, you go get a quarterback this year or next year. And personally, between you and me, if they have a horrible season and Matt Rule gets fired, might be the best thing ever. So we'll wait and see how it all pans out. It's going to be an interesting week. Make sure you check with us on all our social media sites, and we'll keep you up to date on all the free agency moves that concern the Panthers. If anything big happens, I'm sure Jack or Shantice or Tyler or myself will jump on here and give you our thoughts. So until then, have a great week and keep pounding.